5.
Day 5.
It seems like it's going by quickly. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, and all the editing and stuff. I'm like, boop, boop, boop. And then wow, it's already day 5.
I
But then I look
know.
behind you and clearly it is because you have 4 little mini skeins.
My little minis.
They're so cute. I'm excited to see what you have today.
Well, shall we just go for it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm still in suspense about the potential color pop you might have.
Yeah. So today's colour is Ametrine, Ametrine. Another one I'm not familiar with. So I have no idea what colour to expect.
I love that there's, these kits that we've been seeing where you learn stuff along the way. Ooh, oh my word.
So
that was
definitely
unexpected.
Got some
yellow
and the purple that ties it in
with
amethyst.
Nice.
Interesting.
That was really cool. That was a little bit unexpected. How neat. Wow. Good job, Terina. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yay.
I have to look up that stone now.
Yeah. What's been really neat, I've really enjoyed seeing people post, the photos of their kits, and particularly like the little educational things, like, you have the gemstones you can go look up and learn about. And then obviously the mad scientists, they have the little constellation cards that people are getting with their colorways, which is fantastic. I mean, that's so neat. It's been really, really cool to not only the interviews that we've done where I've learned of dyers, obviously, that I didn't even know were out there, but all the little things that go along with that is really enriching.
It sure is. And each of them have taken the theme and just gone for it, haven't they? Really made it rich and interesting.
And now I can't help but think, what will I do next year? Because now I know about all these people. I'm like, oh, I might have to start saving for next year's kits because I wouldn't be able to pick just one.
Mm-hmm. It's still pretty cool just watching everyone open their kits,
I
think.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, because
it's so much fun.
There's only so much you can knit anyway as well. But yeah.
I don't mind having a large stash though.
True.
Because I live in the middle of nowhere. What if I get snowed in? I mean, I have to have a contingency plan.
Well, it's essential for you then, isn't it? Yeah. You need all the
I mean, it's essential for you too. You're a designer. You have to have a good pile.
Need a palette to work with.
So yesterday was it yesterday you were saying how you only had a couple of things going and you're pretty much monogamous, and then I made the comment how I have way too many whips and not enough needles. So my mother sends me an email that says, do I need to guard my needles? Are you coming for them?
Like, so no. She's watching.
Shout out to Mom.
Hi Jenna's mom. Well, I did put a third project on the needles yesterday, although I did actually it's not on the needles anymore. It was a tiny little project. So
tell us.
I thought I'd make one of those roses that I was talking about. So I still have the leaf to make, and and I'm working out trying to reverse engineer it from the photo because I didn't write down how I did it, but I sort of remembered.
And didn't write it down. Didn't we talk about writing things down?
I know. I think at the time I thought I would quickly make another one and write that down. So anyway, we'll see how it turns out. And if it turns out okay, I'll write it up and put it on the blog.
Yeah. And maybe you can show us your finished rose next week or something.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. Oh, okay. Well, I'll open mine and then we'll tell people what we have pre-recorded for today. Yeah.
So what have you got today?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so I have day 5, which is Christmas lights. How cute is that?
Cute.
They did such a good job on my labels, didn't they?
It's so special.
I know. Yep. They did a great job. I have artistic kids, don't I?
You do.
Ooh. Wow.
Ooh, is that green?
Yeah, it's day 5, except it's really day 22. It is kind of greenish. I'm waiting for my camera to focus, but that's pretty good right there.
Yeah, that's gorgeous.
So it's yarn 22, which says Lost World.
That's an intriguing name.
Yeah. I've really enjoyed these. Yeah. So I didn't get, I'm not quite caught up. I'm still working on getting caught up. I have day 2 blocking. Day 3 is almost done on the needles, but now I have to hurry and knit. It's hard. It's hard to stay caught up. Life, right?
Yeah.
Farm stuff is happening right now because it's the time of the year when we put the bucks with the does, and they have a little date.
So it's pretty busy.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there's hormones going on on the farm, and when we do everything as naturally as possible. So when we have a doe that's in heat and she's pacing the fence, we're like, oh, she needs to be with her little friend for a while. And we don't leave the bucks in there with them very long because it can make the bucks are stinky, boys are stinky, so it can make the milk kind of off. And
okay.
Yeah. So they just
also, is that when you get weird tasting goat's milk? Is that
sometimes
what causes that?
Well, it can. And so we just have a little spot in our barn where they just are together for a few hours. They just have a date for a few hours. And then we're like, okay, that's enough. And then we take them back to their respective groups. So yeah, so that's been kind of busy. So it's a little interfering with my knitting time, I'm saying, but I will catch up eventually. And if not, then not. Yeah. I mean, the throw along goes. You said the throw along is going on through January, so I have time. I'm not going to stress about it.
The throw along is going through 2021, so the whole year.
Oh,
and then
okay,
yeah. So and then the actual Advent knit along that finishes mid-February, so there's plenty of time. So you could finish a throw by the end of the Advent, KAL, and that would be fine.
Sure. Yeah,
or by
definitely. Yeah. And I really wanted to stay up, but life happens and it's okay. It's totally okay. So if viewers out there, if you're not actually keeping up knitting an entire 80-yard mini in a day, it's okay. It's fine. Because life
and if
happens.
You are, awesome. It's so exciting seeing today, day 5. I've been looking in the day 4 threads. And just to see those 4 colours join into a project now, it's, they're really starting to take shape, and it's pretty exciting looking at the growth.
It is so much fun to watch the threads each day. Yeah. And I have to admit, I'm not keeping up as well as I had hoped with you have a lot going on in your group. And so I've been spending more time in my group, and then I pop over and I scroll through and read, the dailies in your group too. But yeah, it's a lot. It's fun. It's just a party.
It is. It's pretty wonderful. Yeah. So people were sharing Christmas tree ornaments yesterday and talking about their traditions. And someone had some that they had gone to a local glass artist and been taught how to blow their own glass baubles. Wow. And they looked so beautiful, and it was just extra special that they were able to make their own.
Yeah. So my husband and I we're watching this, sometimes we watch trashy reality TV.
I'm on board.
But actually this was super interesting. It was a show, it was a contest, and it's a series, it's reality TV, and it was called Blown Away, and it's about glass blowers. And
I have seen that.
Have you watched that? There's only one season. It's pretty new. It's a Netflix original reality thing, but it was fascinating. And I thought I had no idea how some of that stuff was done. I think it was really interesting.
Yeah, it was good fun. Yeah. Amazing.
And it was interesting about how stuff was done, but it wasn't like all the nitpicky personality nonsense that sometimes happens in reality TV. It wasn't really like that. It was more about the techniques and how things happen,
Yeah. And they were already artists in their own rights before they started there. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, some of the contestants were like 30 something years of experience. I mean, it was neat. It was neat to see. Yeah. So I didn't know if you had the same Netflix shows available in Australia that we do.
I think mostly, but sometimes there might be a little bit of variation. Yeah. So we tend to get most of the same.
Cool. Neat. So do you want to tell everybody what we have pre-recorded for today?
Yeah, we're going to Texas today to meet Wendy from Amanda Hope Yarn, who has created gorgeous Advent kits over the years that are really popular, and quite a few people are knitting up her kits at the moment. So I'm sure they will enjoy meeting Wendy and hearing about her dye studio, which I think is pretty special, and just more about her approach to dyeing. I love her theme for this year's kit. I won't say too much because it'll be good to hear it from her. And she's also today's sponsor, gave a lovely voucher to our lucky winner today. So thanks, Wendy, for that too. She's always been a great supporter of the Advent Knit Along.
Fantastic. All right. So
and we get to see her background too, which is really nice, isn't it? We recorded.
I know.
So you can see,
Yeah, it's a nice place where she lives. It's very nice. Yeah, and warmer than here. But speaking of warm, it's been warm here. Oddly, I went for a walk today, and I just kept. Usually, I just do a couple miles, but I did three, a little over 3 miles today because it was so nice. It's 58 degrees, which is. I looked that up. I think it's 14 Celsius.
Oh yeah, that's lovely walking weather, really, isn't it? If it's not windy. Yeah.
Well, it was. It was about a 15 mile. I mean, I had my hoodie up because I don't deal well with wind in my ear. My one ear is prone to earaches, but still, it was nice. Yeah.
You need some little knitted ear things.
Oh, I have some. Yeah. I had my headband thing. I had my knitted headband thing in my pocket of my hoodie. So, yeah. And also because that way it keeps the wind out of your earbuds. I was listening to an audiobook. I like to listen to audiobooks when I walk, and I walk the same path out on the prairie all the time. So, I'm not on the road, so it's not like I'm,
need to hear the traffic.
Yeah, there's no traffic. I'm in a field, literally. There's no traffic. I mean, a cow once in a while.
Well, here it's morning. It's quite overcast, but we're told, according to the forecast, it will be 26 degrees Celsius, which is 79 Fahrenheit. So lovely, mild summer day. We're not getting hot yet, so we're off to a cool start, which is quite nice because a year ago, the fires started in earnest in New South Wales. So, I'm appreciating a bit of a mellower start to summer. Yeah. Which December can be often. Often it's January gets hotter, and then February, March can be the hottest months for summer and driest.
Mm-hmm. And so that's warm enough, though, that you can go to the beach barefoot, go on a walk.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I like your Instagram stories where you show us the beach. I kind of can live vicariously through you that way, since I don't have anything like that.
I feel very lucky to be able to visit that each day. It's beautiful.
Excellent. All right, let's go visit Texas.
I'm excited to meet you on Zoom, Wendy. We've admired your yarn for so long. You do beautiful dyeing, and this year I know that you have the gorgeous neutral Advent set that we can see the colours, so that's not a spoiler. And how many have you created that are secret 2020 kits this year? You've got one other kit?
Just one other kit.
Yeah.
Yes. Based on the unicorn tapestry.
Good.
I Love Neutrals is a year-round thing for me. So someone can probably get it as long as it happens to be available. Sometimes I have to set up a pre-order. I'll try to keep it in stock.
Tell me about Amanda Hope, where the name came from, given that obviously you're Wendy, so it's not named after you.
Right. Well, that's right. And there was already a Wendy yarn that exists in Europe, so I didn't want to copy that. And I knew I wanted to use the fleur-de-lis because if you're from New Orleans or Louisiana, you decorate your house with it. It's on the state flag. It's everywhere. And since I'm in Texas, I still have to keep some of my Louisiana roots. So I had to just do something that would go with the fleur-de-lis. So I thought, well, just a girls' names or something, right? And so I was trying to think of girls' names that I liked, and I thought, I'll do one of my I had only one granddaughter at the time. I'll do granddaughter. I thought, I might have more granddaughters, and I said, but I won't have any more daughters.
Right.
So Amanda and Hope are my two daughters' names.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
I love the connections like that, though. That's sweet.
Yeah.
And so, obviously, the fleur-de-lis is French. Does it have does that symbol have a specific meaning?
Well, the French don't really like it because that has to do with the French royalty, right? And they went through this thing called the French Revolution. But you know, the Louisiana Purchase and stuff in Louisiana was part of France for a long time, and so you know, like in high school, New Orleans, at least when I was in high school, you know, we were taught French. You know?
Right.
You know,
right.
not so.
And not being from the South at all, when I see that symbol, I automatically think of Louisiana and New Orleans, partly because of the football team has it right on the side of their helmets.
That's right. And everyone in their home in New Orleans has at least one fleur-de-lis hanging on their wall.
Wow. I did not know that. I did not know that, actually. So, yeah.
Thanks for explaining that.
Yeah. Good. But, yeah, we both would love to know how you started dyeing yarn.
Okay. Well, that occurred because I wanted to do a Stephen West mystery knit along, and I tried to get hedgehog fibers. It happened to be the same year that we were traveling to Ireland. So I got this bright idea that since we were in Kinsale and had to go to Shannon, we could go via Cork, which actually was on the way. And this was about 14, 13, I'm trying to remember, sometime around then. And I Facebook messaged Beata at Hedgehog and said, do you have any yarn? Because I wanted the yarn for the kids. And she said, yes, I do. And just come by the studio. And so I did. And she was kind enough to give me a tour, and my husband a tour. He was with me, of course. And so I bought a lot of yarn. And as we're walking out with all my yarn, having spent an hour with her and her workers and seeing the whole process and stuff, my husband's like, I think you could do that yourself. I think he was thinking that it was going to be cheaper if I tied my own yarn.
We're all laughing.
but of course, I didn't just immediately start selling yarn. I ruined a lot of yarn, and did a lot of just with Jello and Kool-Aid and food coloring and all that, and then started buying real acid dyes. And then after, I don't know, year or so, there happened to be someone opening up a yarn store here in my small town of Nacogdoches. And I told her, I was like, well, I dye yarn. So anyway, that's how I got into a store. And then I set up a website. Then I started doing Fiberfest. So, and now we're here.
Wow.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So that's amazing. I mean, I always think of all the creativity that goes into coming up with new colorways and new combinations. And I'm so glad there's people like you to do that, because I just look at it all and I'm like, that's lovely, but I don't think I could do that. I don't think I could. Yeah. I don't think I could do that. Absolutely not.
Oh, you'd be surprised. You find inspiration everywhere. You don't have to just pull it out of the air,
So, you based this year's kit on that beautiful tapestry. Mm-hmm. Is that, do you often find, have you got a picture of that?
Of the book, yeah. This is, and you can see all the beautiful colors.
Right.
So, yes, I often use art.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, what inspires you? Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. Well, I find it easier if you look around and you say, oh, that looks great together. Then that might look great on a skein of yarn, right?
Yeah.
Instead of just guessing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That makes me think of one of the Fair Isle designers that I interviewed on my podcast, I don't know, a couple months ago, Terry Malcolmson, and she's very good with color, and same kind of thing where she takes inspiration from photographs, and then she puts together swatches of Fair Isle color combinations. So I imagine it's kind of similar. I just want someone to tell me what to do. So how did you and Ambah, how did you two meet then?
Yeah,
I was going to say through my Ravelry group really is where I recall us first connecting. Yeah.
Yes, I tested it for you a lot at first.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then in person just once at Vogue Knitting.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was so starstruck. I wanted to like just carry her bags.
Was that last winter then?
2019 in New York, was it?
Yes. Yeah. 2019 in New York.
You mentioned that you were a test knitter for Ambah at one point. So had you been knitting a long time before you began dyeing yarn?
I took up knitting when my husband said that we were going to retire in a few years up to a small town where he was from, which is where we are in Nacogdoches, Texas. And we were, at the time living in I was on the 24th floor of a high-rise condominium, walked to an office of skyscrapers and stuff. And he said we were moving to the country. And I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I need something to do. So I took up knitting.
Fantastic.
So I took knitting lessons. Yeah.
How long ago was that?
I took it up in 2010 or 2011, something like that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So, we retired young. Okay.
Yeah. But so you're from a city. I noticed on your website that you're from New Orleans.
New Orleans. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so it was odd for you to move away from the big city and all those conveniences but it looks lovely where you are. Yeah.
It is, and I've gotten used to it. And my husband is one of those people that has to pack 10 lives into one. So we just never know.
So it's not a very relaxed retirement for him.
Well, during COVID has slowed him down. So
yeah.
So
but I don't imagine it slowed you down. I imagine more people are knitting now than ever before.
More than ever before.
So does your husband help with the Advent kits, wrapping the kits, and since it was his great idea for you to dye yarn?
Right. You would think that, right? No.
No.
No. I have a friend, Jana. Hi, Jana. I know she's going to watch this. Who actually helps me every year with the packaging of them, and he helps in that. I've had, as I've grown, I've used commercial restaurant equipment and stuff, and in his prior career, he was a trial attorney, but now, like, he'll tell you he's a hay farmer and a welder. And so he actually welded a stand for me.
Oh, fantastic. So he's helping.
He does those kinds of things. He had to give up one of his hay barns for my dye studio. So I call it a dye barn.
Yes.
It's a dye
that
barn.
Sounds wonderful. Do you ever have that open for visitors? Your dye barn?
It's really funny. I have some customers from around, and they'll come by and pick it up. And a few times I've been in the barn. They know on my carport I have a bench where I leave their package. So that, it's kind of like, contactless shopping.
Yes.
So they'll come pick up. And sometimes if they see that I'm out there, they come by. But I don't keep the yarn out in the dye barn. I keep it in a different place that's all, much cleaner and much more
so it's
secure.
still rustic hay barn.
But my hay barn is still pretty rustic, yes. I have pulled a piece of hay. There's still a couple of bales out there because I have a outside cat to keep the mice down.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So there's still a bale or two of hay in there. So
sure.
For her bed.
Do you have other animals too on your farm?
No, and it's 20 acres, so it's not really that big. It's more of a gentleman's farm, kind of thing that we call in Texas. So, husband's tractor's air conditioned with Sirius XM radio kind of thing. It's not that rustic.
I noticed on your frequently asked questions that you talk a lot of, you use quite a bit of merino, and you have Aussie wool. So does most of your wool come from Australia then, and is merino rather than any blends or that kind of thing?
I do use mostly merino, and most of it is Australian merino because that's what my source uses. He feels like it's the best. So hearing that.
I would agree. Yeah, I would.
Yeah,
I would agree. I would agree with you as far as the micron count for sure. Absolutely, I noticed that. When we had sheep, I think really the only finer micron might be, so like the Shetland breeds that have very, very fine, more like 18. Well, no,
Yeah.
you were mentioning like 19, 20 microns.
Right. Yeah.
And that's lovely. That's soft and amazing.
That's soft. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what Texas knitters especially want.
Oh, interesting.
They don't want the heavier, rougher wool. And until COVID, I was really emphasizing, I was selling at Fiber Fests, not really much. I had a website, but I really wasn't doing a lot with it, except for Advent season.
Right.
Advent kits.
So they like to feel the yarn before they buy it.
Yeah. That's right. Yes. And they want it soft because it's not super cold here.
Yeah.
It's not, there's no reason for thick woolly wool. Everything is going to go next to your skin. If you have to have a sweater that you can wear just the sweater because you won't need both layers.
Well, I can relate to that. True. In Australia too. We don't need a lot of really thick, rustic sweaters.
Right.
And I want it all. I want all of it. Yeah, because I'll wear a t-shirt under, and then the heavier, more rustic, like you said, or what I call kind of crispy. That kind of crispy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, an Icelandic wool is like that. It's not terribly great for right next to your skin, but it's terribly warm.
Yeah.
So, but if I had a cowl made of, like your wool, and then have that outer Icelandic, sweater, I'd be super snug.
Especially for farm work too. You want that more rustic yarn when you're wearing a sweater on the farm.
Definitely. Yeah. Or a hat where the wind doesn't get through quite as much.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. That's great. So can you show us some of your, I'm not asking you to show anything secret right now.
Today's day 5, and Wendy has brought a reveal of her day 5.
I have. So
show us the package.
Okay, well, let me show. These are days 1 through 4 already opened.
Oh, good.
So they're on this thread.
Oh.
This is day 5. This is how I package. And I did I print the numbers, everything myself. So open it. And day 5, of course, it's a little bit breezy here, so I have to. Okay. But,
let me make you spotlight it. Oh, that's lovely. Can you hold it closer? Oh, I want to see the tones of that. Oh,
yeah, that's beautiful.
Burgundy.
So it's got the red and gold. Yeah. And will that fade in with the previous days? Is that a fade?
Yeah. See, the one before it is this one. And the reds. And I was thinking of this when I did the order and stuff. The wrap that you have that goes around in a circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I saw you did that, I was like, okay, I know what order. And then you can see that, you kind of see the colors.
Yeah, very much. Yeah. So cozy and wintry.
Yeah. So
and that
was it.
Wonderful for holiday as well.
Yeah, well, there'll be other colors.
Those colors, yeah. I haven't seen the rest of it, obviously, but I was just envisioning, that richness of the reds, particularly. I was envisioning, that's something people are going to want to wear to, Christmas events and things like that once we're gathering together more again.
I can't wait to see where else you go with it. I can obviously be heading towards gold, maybe, but we better not speculate too much.
Right. Well, and I like to do something very different each year because I gotta tell you, I guess this is my 3rd year. So the first year I couldn't believe anyone bought one because, they don't know what they're getting. Well, when I got repeats the second year who bought it the first year, the first person who did that made me cry. I was like, I can't believe you did it again. So
because you put your heart into it, don't you? It's so much work and passion to make those kids.
Yeah. Willing to come up with something that you think people will like sight unseen. You know, that's the stress of sight unseen. That's why I went the one that's available all the time. You know, it's like, oh, it's my regular colors. People get to see it. Not very stressful. But so anyway, I was going that I like to do something very different from each year because I have people that have bought, all 4 kits. So I don't want them to look the same. So I brought my other ones.
Oh.
So like this was the first one.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
And Ambah, yeah, she'll have to tell you the names because I can't remember. This one is.
I have to confess, I have to look it up too because I get confused.
Well, you have so many.
Well, they'll be able to recognize it from the chevron one. Yeah.
And I thought I knew, but then I thought I'd be wrong. So
yeah, I get, because so many of them start with Advent. So that one is the Adventurer. That's the wrap version. It's a scarf and wrap. And there's also a little KAL as well.
Yeah,
that's so beautiful. I remember it's just so fun each day watching people open their kits and knit them in, and that was one that was really exciting to watch.
And
I would think as a designer, Ambah, it's so neat to see other people's interpretations and what colors other people put into yours. I mean, it could be the very same pattern and look so different from project to project depending on what people choose, you know.
Yeah,
so much fun.
That's one of my favorite parts of it, seeing, and then so many I just think, oh, I wish I'd chosen those colors. They're so beautiful.
So I have your second year one, but I don't have it in my surprise kit because all of them sold, and I didn't think.
Oh, you didn't save one?
I didn't save one for myself. I saved some. Actually have some of the mess up skeins, and I'm one of these people, so it takes 25 skeins and 25 colors, so I'll dye 28 and pick the 25, you know.
Wow.
So
That's
I have
brilliant.
some of the mess up ones or whatever, but I haven't knit them. This is the one Ambah's from last year in the neutrals.
Okay, yes.
So
that's lovely.
This one I wear all the time because the colors are so
goes
easy.
with everything. Yeah.
Goes with everything. Yeah. So unfortunately, I don't have my last year. It was based on the art of Edgar Degas, and I did learn that using 25, and like I said, I did like 28 different pieces of art and stuff was quite a bit. I decided this year to just pick something simpler.
Just like a tapestry.
Because you know, tapestry, that's easy. Sure.
Well, it has fewer colors, but we're getting everything to coordinate.
Yeah, it's massive. Yeah.
Yeah.
So where can people find you? I'll put your website down below. We'll put links to your website, and then you're on Instagram as well. And
yes. On Instagram,
and do you have any events coming up, fiber events coming up in 2021, or is it all
so
cancelled?
Far, they've been canceling them. Yes. So the Dallas Fort Worth Fiber Fest is a really large and rather old one here, and it has already been canceled.
Wow.
Houston. They think that maybe that will go. That is in June, end of June. So that may go. They don't know yet.
So fingers crossed.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people are just moving to online, online events and virtual, workshops and things. And it makes me, although it's not the same as being in person, I'm still thankful that, I'm in Wyoming, you're in Texas, and you're in Australia, and we can at least, do what we can do. I think that's 10 years ago, we wouldn't be doing Zoom, right?
Right.
So I think that's amazing nonetheless. Yeah. Well, Wendy, I appreciate you joining us. Thanks for joining up with us this afternoon. I think this is wonderful. So, and showing a little taste of what you have available in your kits.
Well, thank you.
Thanks, Wendy. Looking forward to what you create for Advent and also for 2021. See where your inspiration takes you.
Well, thank you. Thank you.